I just think everything led to Trump.
So you're saying he won it?
Indisputably, I think.
I'll even agree that I think he won the debate only because the standards for judging the debate from the people that it's supposed to appeal to are so ass backwards. But I'm just going to continue to do what I do every debate. I'm going to throw out a couple of things that I think are true, and we should bear in mind. We see Trump doing his monkey thing and being an alpha male with his doing. I still find that term to be inaccurate, but so he does that. And he's been doing that. He's done that over and over and over. And if you're a Republican who is going to vote, you've seen it. You've been exposed to it. And after seeing it and seeing it and seeing it, we're all very impressed with how successful it's been because in the national polls and a lot of the state polls, he's currently beating other Republicans. But he's only winning in a convincing way when you force people to decide from amongst 10 to 14 other Republicans. Mm-hmm. In that room, it is likely that after seeing it over and over and over, 6 or 7 out of 10 people in that room have seen him and are like, no, I want someone else. Because he can't break 33%. When you compare directly him and Cruz, they want Cruz.
I don't know how they're going to feel after this debate, though.
Then why doesn't he have 50%, 60%? He's done this before.
No, this is mainstream thinking, and I got to be honest with you. You say it, Ben says it over and over again. I think you guys are horribly wrong.
Yes.
And it's a weird new rule you're putting on Trump and Trump only. What do you mean he's only at 33%? Okay, fine. Rubio's only at 8%. Oh, he can't get above 8%. He's only at 8%. Highest he ever got is 11%.
Yeah, but we
89% are opposed to him.
We always criticize
whoever's
Fox
leading
News
is leading.
for saying they're the biggest because they're the one thing all conservatives go to, or in the case of Trump, all crazy people, and then the others have to split it up.
You guys keep assuming that anyone who isn't already saying that they're in favor of Trump is by definition against Trump. But there's no reason to assume that about Trump or anyone else running.
I'm not saying they won't eventually support him. I'm saying we keep saying there is this new paradigm that if you simply act in this way, then you'll win debates. But the vast majority of the people watching this over and over still don't support him on the Republican side.
But what do you want him to have, 100% of the vote? You can't have 100% of the vote.
We can't pretend that everything
there
has
was originally
changed now.
17 people running. What do you want him to have? 51% of the vote? That's an unfair standard by any stretch. I can't believe you've been unfair to Trump.
So all I'm saying is we cannot pretend that he has discovered some new thing that has changed everything if it results in him having a 10-point lead over Cruz.
But it does. I mean, he's had a huge lead throughout. The two things that he didn't discover them. I've been talking about him all along. And if I was a Republican, this is how I would have run, right? And that's why I'm not a Republican. This is a terrible way to go. There's only 2 things you need to do to appeal to Republicans. Be generally racist, bigoted, hateful. The other, ISIS, terrorists, black people, Mexicans, right? Rule number 1. Rule number 2 is, me strong, all weak, me strong. So easy. Meanwhile, these other jerk-offs these are my talking points about the VAT tax.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here,
Give me a break.
Come on now, give me a break, right? No, I'm cutting fruit all day long. I balanced the budget. You know, I was a federal prosecutor, and you know what? If I'm president, I won't let Obama get away with it because he won't be president anymore. No, go get out of here. Get out of here.
But again, when you ask Republicans, okay, if all you could choose from is Trump or Cruz, they still choose Cruz, even though he's a weenie and he's been a weenie since the day he was born. He's always been a weenie, and he talks about VAT taxes and all that stuff. He tries to seem like an intellectual. After how many debates, they still say, well, if it was between the two, yeah, by 8 points, I want Cruz.
By 8 points?
By 8 points.
What's the margin of error on that poll?
Probably 4 or 5 points, I imagine.
But John.
And I understand that's not how we decide primaries.
You're doing a hypothetical that doesn't exist.
You just said you only have to do this. He does that, and if it were between the two, he wouldn't win.
He's winning.
Well, not in Iowa.
Resoundingly.
Not in Iowa.
In Iowa, he's winning the last 3 polls.
We'll see about that.
Okay, see? Okay. All right, look. Okay, so John and I are very clear. What do you guys think?
Let me ask you this question, Johnny. So when we go into the Iowa debate, let's say the vote turns out the way the polls are right now. Would you say Trump won or lost?
Wait, what's that?
If the election, the primary turns out the way the polls are right now, with Trump leading, would you say he won or lost?
I don't understand the question.
If he wins in Iowa.
Does he win Iowa? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying if he.
Yes, in that case, he wins Iowa.
So he's winning. So then he'll win in New Hampshire, and then he'll win in South Carolina.
You're trying to say, both of you are trying to say that I'm saying something I'm not. What I'm saying is, yes, he might win Iowa. But it is not the paradigm shift that you guys are saying, that everything is changed because, again, he isn't as popular as Cruz.
Now, if this was a Republican debate, I would tell John, weak.
Okay, it can't be a paradigm shift. If Rubio and Carson dropped out, Cruz would be beating him. It's not a paradigm shift if Carson
if
being
rainbows
there
flew
changes
out of
it.
Jeb Bush's ass, he might be
No,
riding on a rainbow.
If fundamentally the economy
That's
has
not
changed.
what's
I'm saying
happening.
if Carson fell asleep for a bit longer than he normally does and died, then Cruz would be winning.
Okay,
that's not a paradigm
you
shift.
Despise Trump, for which I respect you. Okay, but it's hilarious because you're actually biased against Trump, right? And we all can't stand him.
I'm biased in favor
but
of polling.
Right? No, but you're trying to wish him away. But
No, I'm not wishing. I'm saying if Carson dropped out, Cruz would be winning. And I'm not saying that matters because now Cruz is going to win. I'm simply saying everything in politics has not changed. It is incredibly contingent on little things like if Carson drops out today or in 3 weeks.
First of all, things have changed just for the basic facts of that. Now, the party can't control it anymore, so that's changed.
That's
and
right.
They were able to control it with McCain. They were able to control it with Mitt Romney, right? They had Herman Cain winning 1 month, and they had but the party got control again. So the things have changed because the party hates Ted Cruz and they hate Donald Trump. Yet those are the two main winners. So that's why I will agree that the paradigm
but those moderators
has
were
shifted.
still they were giving more softballs to Trump than they were to Cruz. I mean, I think they were giving more to like Jeb Bush and Rubio, but they were dishing it up like they say you're mad. Are you mad? Yeah, they're trying to take him down with that.
but John,
you said you want to ban Muslims. Do you want to ban Muslims? Yeah, he wants to fucking ban Muslims.
Yeah.
That's what he wants every day. That's the first thing he wants when he wakes up.
I think what you guys are
Yes,
talking
I hate
about,
him.
No, I know you hate him. Everyone on this table hates him. But I think what you guys are discussing is irrelevant because Trump does what every politician, in that debate tonight is willing to do, but not to the same extent as him. He is willing to play into the fears of Americans. And that's the reason why the Republican Party, the majority of the Republican, not the majority, but a huge chunk of the Republican Party supports him.
Plurality.
Right? Exactly. So I think that if it were between him and Cruz, he'd probably crush Cruz. I mean, that poll that we talked about in the beginning of our debate coverage today was an interesting poll. If they were head-to-head or if they were running against one another, then more of the Republicans favor Cruz. But after this debate, after I saw Trump's performance, I think it could definitely change. Cruz got his ass kicked tonight. Okay? He looked so incredibly weak, especially with the whole 9/11 thing that Trump brought up.
But he was weak last week.
Look, Cruz is not willing to do what Trump is willing to do because Cruz is conditioned by old politics, okay? Jeb is even more conditioned by old politics where they have to pretend like they're senatorial and professional.
Statesman-like.
Statesman-like,
Yes.
thank you. And Trump doesn't care about that. Trump's not from that world. So he's standing up there giving everyone a middle finger, and the Republicans love it. They love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree with you, but not you two. You make some good points.
I feel really bad doing this, but it's like because Johnny Cash is so great and he was so progressive. But he's coming, like there was the Bing Crosby era and they're all buttoned up and they're like, on the Lawrence Welk show. And Johnny Cash had a picture on his album cover of him sticking the middle finger out.
Yeah.
And like super angry. I don't want to do it now, they're going to gif it. But okay. Right. And he was doing that and all of a sudden everybody's like, yeah, fuck Bing Crosby, right? And the establishment, and there was a sea change. We're in the middle of that sea change now. We're on the middle of it with Bernie Sanders rising on the left and Trump rising on the right. People hate politics as usual. Congress's approval rating hovers between 7 and 11%. So in this context, when you have somebody like Trump come out and say, I'm not doing politics as usual, that's why he's winning. And I think that tonight was a great example of it. Maybe we're wrong, maybe John's right, but we'll see soon. My guess is after this debate, Trump's poll numbers will only go up. And I think now he stands an excellent chance of winning Iowa. New Hampshire is already gone. He's already won it.
How many points do you think they'll go up? You think this is like a 2-point thing? Or you think this is a 15-point thing?
No, 7, 9 points. That's huge.
Oh, you're more
Huge.
towards the big.
Yeah, more towards the big.
Okay, that's possible.
You're saying after this debate, Trump's numbers are going to go up 7 points?
Versus Cruz, yes. Okay. So, I mean, he can't, his numbers
then he'd almost
are
be beating
so
him then.
high, his numbers are so high, he can't get that much higher. Or Cruz will drop, and Trump will rise a little bit, and it'll be about a 7-point difference after this debate. Let's see what happens.
While you were explaining that to me, Johnny was being a smartass.
I was being Unfortunately for you, I checked on CNN, and Hillary Clinton won it. So we got to roll it out every time.
Never gets old. Never gets old.